74 cents? Well, alright. That's right, today we're going to be talking about a game called Defunct. A game developed by Freshly Squeezed and also won Game of the Year at the Swedish Game Awards. So is this game good? Is this game going to cause permanent mental damage? Let's find out. First of all, I'm going to point out that if you came here for a story, then you're going to need to learn how to read between the lines. This game does have a lore, but it's only told to you through context clues and from the visuals said in the level design. I'll be honest, the most that the lore was spelled out to me was in the description on the PS Store. When you first turn on the game, you get a nice little establishing shot of the ship that is basically going to be your tutorial level. And that is when you immediately get introduced to your main character. And let's face it, this is basically a combination of Wally and Dio. Once your character has come to terms with the fact that he has a habit of self-destruction, you are immediately thrown into an area that will act as your tutorial. And even though the game is constantly throwing hints up on the screen, me finally trying to get a grasp on these controls were very reminiscent to me of when my father was trying to teach me how to drive a manual. Dad, if I only have 2 feet, why are there 3 pedals? And of course, much like a baby bird being tossed from its nest, the moment you start having any grasp on how this thing works, you are immediately shot out of the ship and then thrown into the wild yonders. Of course, this is the part of the game where you have to learn how to not die. Which I failed repeatedly. Now, once the game has opened up like this, it really allows you to go at your own pace, allowing you to try different platforming challenges, and to maybe possibly find some secrets in the levels. I took this opportunity to try to check in on some of the locals and see how they're doing. Although upon reflection, I probably interrupted a deal. I guess some robots just can't go on without their 40. Initially, when the game was introducing different puzzles to me, I was not having it! I just had not gotten these controls figured out yet, and these platforming challenges required you to have expert precision on everything! Now the good thing is when you complete this game, you actually are able to select the areas and go back to them later. Which is a good thing because I sped through like 3 levels without me even realizing that they were distinct different levels. Although I will admit, looking back, they do have distinct level designs in each one, like the glowing orbs, the giant wires, the refrigerator noise. Now obviously by this point I had started to form an opinion on how this game was going to go. But then the game opened up to like this desert area and oh boy! Where was this the whole time? This is the game experience I was wanting. This is the game experience that I was kind of hoping for. This was actually fun. And this is one thing that the game kept doing. It kept giving you this giant open space that you could just fly around and do all this crazy speed stuff with, and then it would intermediately throw in these areas with puzzles that you had to slow down and think about, and it was kind of jarring to me. But I'll admit, having those tiny little puzzle places where you had to slow down just made the breakneck speed areas so much more satisfying. Man, this is great. What is this feeling, though?
Dopamine.
Really?
Yes.
What's that?
You serious?
The game also adds a chargeable boost mechanic in the form of, I kid you not, inner juice. Energy juice. What? I mean, it's better than its competitor Whoosh Water, but alright! And honestly, once the game has finally introduced all of its mechanics to you and you're allowed to play them freely as you wish, it actually turns out to be better than I was afraid it was going to be at the beginning of the game. And like I said, you can always go back to previous levels and play them through at your leisure. I mean, I didn't do that. but you can. And you know what? For a 75-cent experience, it was okay. Is that some of the inner juice? Oh, it's whoosh water. Same thing. Let's give this a try, shall we?